You're listening to Glove Up or Shut Up on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
You're listening to Glove Up or Shut Up on AngryMarks.com with Peter H. and Stevie J. Find them on Twitter at HardcoreCDN and at AngryMarks. And now, for all the news, reviews, and interviews in mixed martial arts, it's time for Glove Up or Shut Up from AngryMarks.com.
And welcome everybody to another episode of Glove Up or Shut Up right here at AngryMarks.com. My name is Peter H. and I'm joined once again by my co-host from Omaha, Nebraska, Stevie J.
Back from Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Home of Shayna Baszler.
That's right, the Queen of Spades.
And Stevie, you saw a bunch of amazing fights for Bellator. I can't wait to discuss that, but we also have news and UFC to discuss as well.
Yeah, it was a hell of a night. 13 fights, 10 finishes.
I like those odds. I'd rather watch 10 finishes than 10 decisions.
Oh, hell yeah. I had a fun time.
All
Too
right,
bad
well,
that nobody tuned in to watch.
It was preseason football. Oh, I got nothing.
Yeah, it was 319,000 viewers. That's no bueno.
No, I was expecting maybe 5. 5 would have been a good number.
Yeah, 500 would have been acceptable. That would have been above their average instead of below.
Well, I mean, we could talk the prelims and work our way up, or do you want to start with the main event?
Nah, let's go from the bottom to the top like Drake.
All right. Well, we had 3 prelims that did not air. Pathinum, McKinney, and Nielsen are the winners. Which one of those 3 do you want to discuss?
Well, Rabil Tesfadel was the local favorite. Everybody was screaming advice at him from the crowd, which was a common occurrence for any of the local fighters or any of the fighters based out of the area. But it was not Robbie's fight, and they were screaming, "Come on, Robbie, poke him in the eye, come on, trip him, come on, kick him in the balls." They were just trying anything to get Rabil to win the fight, but Lloyd McKinney was just controlling I want to say controlling the octagon because it's such a cliche, right? That's what we always say when we talk about cage control, but it's the Bellator cage. So he's controlling the cage. He's taking Rabil down. He's not letting Rabil get off any shots. Rabil's not using his speed or quickness to any effective degree. And then finally, McKinney just grounds him and puts that arm around him. And he's like, I don't care. There may only be 50 seconds left, but I'm getting this finish.
Well, I mean, it's nice when the crowd gets into it, but it sounds like he wasn't holding on. The horn wasn't saving him, basically.
No. He had been on the losing end of the fight for most of the fight, and it just finally came to a wrap there at 4 minutes and 17 seconds. So I give him heart for hanging in there that long, but Lloyd McKinney had his number on this day, and actually, I think Lloyd McKinney kind of had a journeyman's record coming in, but sometimes just being more experienced is what makes the difference.
All right, looking at the second half of the prelim, there's a lot of finishes here. 1 decision. That's it. That's a great prelim card right there.
And that decision was a little bit weird, actually.
How so?
Well, if you're talking about DeMarcus Jackson and Bryce Logan, we got a 28-29, a 29-28, and a 30-27. So it's your favorite mixed bag of a little bit of everything.
Well, it's the judge's special, I guess.
And this is another one where the crowd was heavily in favor of one man. They were really, really, really in Bryce Logan's corner. Loudly.
Well, it's not a bad thing.
No.
I mean, it's nice to have that in your back pocket.
Yeah, it seems like there were only 2 people that actually worked out for on this card. One guy on the prelims and one guy on the main card. And the guy in the prelims that it really worked out well for was David Mashaw, because they were so loud when he came out, I actually couldn't hear Michael Williams making the announcement. Wow. They drowned him out. And then when he got that knockout, like a minute 40 into the first round, you would have thought the roof came off the place.
What about Omar Morales?
He did all right. Kind of ironic that the fighter he was facing, Troy Nowrocki, was from right here where I live, or just outside of it in Bellevue, Nebraska.
How far is that from Omaha?
It's like a stone's throw away. You could, if you could shoot a bullet high enough in the air, it'd land in Bellevue.
Jesus. Okay, there you go. Well, let's move on to the main card then. 4 decent fights here. The first one, Claxton and
Lencioni.
thank you. Went to a decision. No debating that one.
No, although this one will be more memorable for what happened during the fight than the result.
Why is that?
Well, these two had some bad blood at the weigh-ins because Lencioni came in at 148 for a featherweight fight, and then he started talking shit to Claxton during the weigh-in ceremony, like he was going to kick his ass all over the place, and Claxton did not take that kindly. He's like, you didn't make weight, and then you're going to talk shit. Now it's on. So, in the middle of the fight, in the first round, when Lencioni was on his back, like, with his arms behind his head, trying to bait him into guard, it was just, Claxton was just like, yeah, this fool, I'm not jumping into his guard. You know the Fortnite dance? Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that?
I know the term. I don't know why I know the term, but I know it.
Well, it's basically this victory dance that you do when you kill somebody in the game, because you're standing over their dead body and then you start doing a dance to, like, show off that you just killed them. So,
okay. So like Halo. Okay.
Yeah, so he backs up and starts doing the Fortnite dance right there in the middle of the cage. Like screw you, buddy. You talk shit and now you want me to jump into your guard? Screw you. And he just did the dance.
I don't think Banderas and Gallagher were doing a Fortnite dance, that's for sure.
Okay, now this is where I have to ask you how much of the antics were actually shown on television, because I think I saw a lot more than you did.
Yeah, from the reports I saw, you saw a hell of a lot more.
So I'll break it down for the listeners here, and you can jump in at whichever point this actually went on television.
Okay.
As Gallagher was coming into the cage, he was already mouthing profanities and staring a hole through Ricky Banderas, who was, the blue corner comes out first, and then the red corner is, like, usually the featured fighter. So the blue corner's in there, he's in there, and Ricky is waiting for him, and Gallagher, the moment he steps through the cage, he just makes a beeline straight for him, gets in his face. The two get into a shoving match. The referee, who if I remember correctly, I think it was Mike Beltran, had to get between the two of them and push them apart. And so Gallagher backs up to his side of the cage, but then he starts mouthing the words, and pardon me for the accent, but I interviewed the guy, so I kind of know how he sounds. He's mouthing the words, "You're dead. You're fucking dead." And I'm like, oh my God, this is insane. And then you can see that the production cameras around us are going to a commercial break. And during the commercial break, he storms over and gets in his face a second time. And they have to be pulled apart again.
Yeah, until the second one. No.
So by the time they come back from commercial, the 1 minute commercial break, and they're ready to go, these two guys just can't wait to rip into each other. Michael Williams is trying to do the introductions, and Gallagher wants to just run over there and start fighting. He doesn't want to wait.
And didn't last, less than 3 minutes?
I believe 2 minutes and 49 seconds. So, Gallagher, I was kind of worrying about his gas tank. There was a reporter for Sports Illustrated next to me named Weston, and I was talking to him. I was like, man, this pace Gallagher is setting, if he doesn't land and hit him with something, he's going to gas out here because he's just going crazy. He was just chasing him all over the cage. And Banderas would just play defense, cover up, let him throw as many shots as he wanted, and then he'd back up and reset and let Gallagher reset. And then all of a sudden, he got clipped. Banderas just landed a beautiful right hand, and you could see James Gallagher drop straight down on his ass, like fell backward, landed on his butt. And I'm like, oh, he got clipped. And you could hear the crowd. They started roaring when they saw that. So Gallagher is trying to get his wits about him and get back up. And as he does, he catches a kick right on the chin. And this time, he's not getting up. He crumbles. And immediately, just sprinting over, Ricky Bandejas comes over and starts raining down Hammer Fist. And the referee jumps in, no, it's over. And the whole crowd is just going, USA, USA, USA.
My God. I remember a kick like that because I'm going through, you know me, I'm going through the old UFC shows. I think I'm very close to finishing 99. There's that Pete Williams fight against Mark Coleman where he just teed off that kick and Coleman just crumbled.
That was pretty close to what happened here.
That was the flashback I had, and I was like, when I saw it, I can't remember what rapper it is. You're going to have to fill me in, but it's like, tell me how my foot tastes, or it was something like that. It was like, tell me how my, I don't know the lyric. You're the rap expert.
I don't know what line you're talking about, so.
All right. Well, it's tell me how my blank tastes is what it was, and it was like that foot didn't taste good because Coleman was knocked the fuck out, and Gallagher, from what was reported, he was told he wins this, he gets a title shot.
Well,
not so much.
He was calling out Darian Caldwell when I interviewed him. He said, he's an old man. He can't finish his lunch, let alone a fight.
He can't? What?
That's what he said. He can't finish his dinner, let alone a fight.
Oh my God. That's...
Well, I guess that's what happens when you talk shit. You get hit. And it wasn't even
Caldwell's
Caldwell that hit him.
How old's Caldwell? He's not that old.
No, he's 30.
That's not old.
Well, when you're 21, 30 might seem old.
Jesus. All right, well, let's talk about the co-main event, Logan Storley and AJ Matthews.
Okay, this first round was a little bit insane because Logan Storley was doing what you would expect Logan Storley to do. He was using his strength and his basically farm boy wrestling, that Brock Lesnar, Webster, South Dakota, just Hulk strength wrestling to take AJ down and beat on him, just grind away at him. But while he was in side control, he threw a knee that he thought was to the shoulder. It wasn't to the shoulder. The referee stopped the fight. AJ Matthews looked completely out of it. He looked dazed and confused, like he had just hit a bong or something, like, oh, and I'm like, oh God, this is going to be a disqualification. So Storley goes to his corner. They call in the doctor. There's this huge knot on AJ's forehead. There's no question that knee landed right on his head. There's just not even a chance. The visual evidence is there. I'm like, it's going to be a DQ for sure. And they're asking AJ, do you want to continue? Do you want to have the fight? Do you want to go on? Are you good to go? Can you continue? And they give him lots and lots of time, and they let him think about it. And they keep talking to him, and they let him clear his head, and they keep talking to him. And he keeps finally he's like, nope, I can go. They're like, are you sure? You don't have to. Nobody's going to make you're not less of a man if you say no. And he's like, no, I'm good. Let's go. I can continue the fight. We can do this. So, second round, pretty much the same story. He gets taken down again by Storley, and he gets mauled and beat up, and finally just takes about 10 or 12 straight elbows to the face, and finally he's not getting his arms up to protect himself anymore, and he's just getting battered over and over again by these elbows, and they finally say, nope, that's too much. You've finally had enough. And I felt like it could have been stopped about 4 or 5 elbows to the head earlier, but I guess because he came back from taking that knee to the head, they were going to give him, like, more chances because he was showing his guts or something. But I was kind of thinking, no, he's already been kneed in the head, and he kind of got knocked loopy from that. Maybe he shouldn't be taking more subconcussive blows, if you want to call them that. I would have stopped it a little quicker.
We talk about fighter safety on this show. If the fighter says it's okay, that's one thing. But sometimes we've seen fighters say, yeah, I'm good, I can go. And they're like, no, it's the injury is too far. It's like
well, just like
we're stopping
Chandler when he blew out his
Yeah.
ankle at Bellator
Oh.
180, and he wanted to keep fighting on one leg, and they're like, dude, no, you can't stand up. The fight's over.
I didn't get that vibe from this fight. I didn't get they're protecting him from the fighter say. I thought he was fine. Like I agreed with the fighter in this case that he was okay.
He was okay to continue. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying once he started getting repeatedly jacked in the head with hard elbows, I would have just, after a couple of them, I would have stepped in. He took about 10.
He's a beast. What can you say? I mean, Storley.
Yeah, and let me be clear, I am not faulting Logan Storley for this. It is not his call to stop the fight. That is the referee's call. He did nothing wrong.
No, and he should get a reward for this fight because that was a hell of a finish.
Oh yeah, and he probably jacked up his arm too because in the post-fight interview he had it in a sling.
Well, let's talk the main event. We had Caldwell against Lahat, and this one did not go 2 rounds.
Nope. And once again, we have the wrestler doing what the wrestler should do, taking his man down and pounding away on him. And Nawad Lahat was pretty confident coming into this fight. He was like, I'm a veteran. I've got submission skills. If he takes me down, I can sweep. I can get on top. I'm not defenseless off my back. I can do jiu-jitsu. I've got all kinds of options. And I got a judo throw, and my judo throw is pretty good, and I can do what he can do to me. Well, that didn't happen. The wrestler took down the judo guy, and the judo guy never took down the wrestler. And the more Caldwell took him down and the more he beat him up, the more one-sided it became. And eventually he just started landing those perfect shots where he got Lahat pinned against the fence, got everything trapped in one spot where he couldn't move, and just started raining down knockout shots. And the referee said, nope, he's out. He's done.